World champion against the original K.Anderson.
En we hebben de tweede Nederlander die het podium gaat betreden. En niet zomaar eentje. De Lakeside wereldkampioen van 2012. De lipstick. Christian Kist. En dan de tegenstander, misschien wel de man die van het verste weg is gekomen, helemaal uit Australië. De Auckland Dartmaster 2017, the original K.Anderson!
Final match of the afternoon session here on day one of the Dutch Darts Masters. And it features a man who's making his first European Tour appearance of 2018, Christian Kist. Haven't seen him for some time. In fact, since the end of last year when he was beaten in the first round of the European Darts Trophy, a traumatic 6-0 defeat at the hands of Jan Dekker. And with just £2,000 in prize money so far this year, Kist will certainly enhance his earnings significantly this weekend. He's guaranteed £1,000 for qualifying for this, his first Euro Tour event of 2018, but he couldn't have picked a more difficult opponent with which to kick off his campaign. He's up against the world number 25, K.Anderson, a semi-finalist in last year's European Championship, and it could well be a tall order. It, of course, all depends how Christian Kist comes out fighting. He certainly fought very hard in qualifying for this tournament. He came through 4 matches to get here, including a 6-2 defeat of Jordi Mewissa in his final round of qualifiers. 6-2 the score in that one.
First take Kyle to throw first. Game on.
And it would be good to see him try and rediscover some of what we know he can do, Dan.
Yes, certainly would. But that's what he can do.
109!
The original believes he can score with the very best in the business. It's all about whether the doubles go in. But Christian Kist, as you say, came through qualifiers last night in a real nightmare board. Jordi Mewissa had actually taken out Jeffrey Desvan and Vincent van der Voort. Hang about.
109!
Back-to-back 180s. K.Anderson 2 visits in, averaging 180 in this game.
And
you know what that means?
Kyle, you require 141.
There's going to be a big letdown any moment.
Just then.
Well, I said at the very outset that Christian Kist could not have hand-picked a more difficult opponent maybe in this first round encounter. And K.Anderson with back-to-back 180s illustrating that point very well indeed.
He's left himself a finish though, Kist. So he's forcing Carl to use 12 and ball.
Nudged the wire.
Yeah,
there is a route here.
Dart at ball was all right. The first 2 darts weren't particularly special. Kist isn't going to punish him. So it's now down to Kyle. It's single 9, double 8, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the route. It is the route. Double 4 then.
17.
6 perfect darts to start the match, and he might go 1-0 down.
8. And he's shown the first leg.
Well,
Christian Kist.
after back-to-back 180s for K.Anderson, It was difficult to see Kist taking the first leg, but he does, and it's a break. And he's now throwing first for a 2-0 lead, and he starts things off with a single 1, a single 19, 74. And recovers with a treble 18.
Now, he does like the sort of double 8 region, and indeed the double 4 region. If I remember rightly, K.Anderson won his Auckland Darts Masters title on double 4. But Christian Kist, just by getting to a finish after 9 darts, forced him to use the bullseye route. So he didn't get 3 clear darts at a double of his choosing, which might have been.
Have to play a match tomorrow.
But surely he's in the second round.
He is, Dan. However, his scheduled opponents,
the world champion and world number 3 Rob Cross,
and the world number 3 Rob Cross, has withdrawn from the tournament on medical advice. So Lennon can go back to the hotel, put his feet up, enjoy the vast expanse of the Van der Valk Zwolle Hotel, and get ready for a third round match on Sunday. 40. All of which means we'll have a slightly later start time tomorrow of 1:15. And Michael Smith can have a bit of a lie-in tomorrow as well. As Anderson levels up with double 10. Because Michael Smith's match with either Tobias Muller or Stephen Bunting has been shifted to the evening session. So just the 7 matches in the afternoon session tomorrow, which now commences at 1:15 here in Zwolle, 12:15 UK time.
Well, I did speak to Rob Cross last night after his draw in the Premier League, and he did say he had been struggling with some sort of a cough. It was affecting his chest.
60.
And obviously it means that it's not going to be this weekend that Rob Cross picks up his first title of the year. First Euro Tour title of his career. So the wait goes on. But K.Anderson is not making us wait for the maximums because he's at 3 already in this game.
58.
Yeah, Michael Smith, I've just mentioned there, not in the best of health either. But he will be here this weekend, and Anderson is certainly in rude health here.
For the second time already, K.Anderson has gone back-to-back 180s. This time, he leaves 41 instead of the 141.
81, Guile Uruguay 41.
Double top then. 12 darter, the original, into the lead.
Yeah, lost the first leg on the break. It was a surprise as well, and perhaps looking back, it's just as well Kist did win that first leg. He was in a spot of bother in the opener, but Anderson has turned things around, and he looks in a fairly good place here as well right now.
Well, he was looking at 141 for the 9 darter in the first leg. He chucked in a 15 darter to break, and then he's just thrown a 12 darter. That's 60. Why the average is right up there, but it could be astronomical. I mean, that first 9 average until that visit there is 60 was ridiculous.
42.
It's just the messing about on doubles that has dragged it down for K.Anderson, but he's living up to his own assessment in that he can score with anybody, 91. But it's whether the doubles go in. At the minute, they've not been going in perfectly, and that was why Kist is not 3-0 down.
99.
It is good to see Christian playing without
I was
any
gonna
obvious
say,
pain, though, isn't it?
It is great to see him. I mean, it was a really difficult watch, wasn't it, when he was playing in Göttingen at the end of last year, and he got battered 6-0 by
128.
Is it Jan Dekker?
It might, but yeah, I think it was Jan Dekker. It happened again at the European Championship because he'd done enough to qualify for it, and he was in absolutely physical state.
He was close to tears on stage as well. It was awful to see, but he looks in a better place physically today, certainly.
Jermaine Wattermainer looking on. Jermaine Wattermainer was the 62. Opposite of being close to tears earlier on.
120.
Never seen him express
anything,
such joy and happiness. Right from the moment he came out and walked on stage, or ran onto stage.
40. Kyle Uruguay 160.
Well, the treble 20s have been pretty easy for K.Anderson. But that's a treble 1.
Lovely timing.
I'm not even sure what happened with that dart.
43. Christian Uruguay 80.
Tops he wants.
Yeah.
60.
Not a
Final
bad
require
mark.
117.
Treble 19. Would have left tops, but not to
59.
be.
Christian, you require 20.
Wrong side of it, Christian.
No score.
And that one was
Final you
underneath
require 58.
and sort of between the two. Either way, it was off target, and Anderson has a potential reprieve here. 2 darts at tops for another break and a 3-1 lead.
On the full flag, Kyle
And
Anderson.
Christian Kist punished there in the most devastating fashion by
Fifth leg,
Kyle Anderson.
to throw first. Game on.
Squandering opportunities of his own. Anderson taking the opportunities, and he leads by 3 legs to 1 here, and it's looking very, very comfortable now for Kyle Anderson, you have to say.
Yeah, well,
140.
roles reversed there, wasn't it? Christian Kist, the man to miss his opportunities, and then Kyle Anderson just nipping in there with some clinical finishing.
140.
Just getting the odd wild dart, Kyle Anderson, where, I mean, he may be a player that is aiming at the flights and just looking to smash into his previous dart if it is in the right area. Or it may be that he's just getting the weight of dart all wrong, because he's had a few where he's been going for the treble 20. It's been very high. That's not drastically high. That's exactly where he wants it.
140.
No surprise he followed it.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on these averages as well. It's impressive stuff so far for Kyle Anderson. Impressive also from Wayne Jones earlier today
85.
in his 6-1 win against Jamie Lewis. James Wilson rattled in a fairly hefty average as well against Johan Engström.
That is an 11 darter for Kyle Anderson,
to throw first.
and he is in complete control of this game as things stand. He does have a good record against Christian Kist, but the Dutchman is trying his best to address that. 4 wins out of the 6 previous meetings for Kyle Anderson. However, the last 2 times they played, once this year and once on the Euro Tour in Hamburg last year, both games went to last leg deciders. So even though he does lead 4-2 in the head-to-heads, the 2 most recent meetings have been very, very tight. Could have gone the other way.
And that
55.
20 dart leg aside, they are very, very neat and tidy stats for Kyle Anderson, complementing his averages very well indeed. 4 180s so far as well.
140.
Their first meeting was actually the day that Kyle won his PDC Tour card back in 2014. Beat Christian Kist 5-2 on the way to going and claiming his card.
96.
It'd be wrong to say he hasn't looked back since, because he's seriously considered his future in the game because of various setbacks. Oh, wonderful stuff, Christian Kist.
160.
This is inside on the double 8 for a valiant attempt.
Yeah, it's a shame that. I mean, there's been a few moments like that for Kist today where you think he's just about to get started, comes up with a couple of good darts and then fails to back it up. But he's got another opportunity here at double 4 anyway for a hold of throw.
And shot the 6th leg, Christian Kist.
And it is
7th
4-2.
leg, Kyle to throw first. Game on.
You'll notice these are slightly, they're the same darts that Carl's got. They've just been painted, basically. They've got a bit of colour on them. They've got a hand symbol etched onto them, which is an Aboriginal symbol. You can actually see it on the shirt. 180 number 2 for Christian Kist. You can actually see it on the shoulder of his shirt, which I've never spotted before until he pointed it out to me the other day, the handprint symbol.
80.
Is that something he's done himself, I mean, with the darts? Or,
no,
I was going to say, how do you go about doing it?
Yeah, no, it's his manufacturers who made them for him, but it's still, they are still the same dart. So even if they look different and people are going, oh, has he changed his equipment? It is the same dart, it's just a bit
But doesn't that change the weight of the dart and all this sort of thing?
I don't think laser etching it's not going to change it drastically. You're talking tiny, 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 tiny fractions of a tenth of a gram.
83.
And I suppose if it did, it'd make a huge difference. You'd notice straight away anyway.
And they've got it on all the darts anyway, so even if it's, If it's 0.00001 of a gram, I don't think you notice. But if he's on all three, then he's throwing the same weights anyway. So
Okay.
I wouldn't worry. It's 4 180s, man.
Well, yeah, clearly it's not having an effect. I'm just questioning the aerodynamic side of things.
Well, if you're going to put streamers on it, like on the spokes of your bike or anything, then yeah, that probably will. But I don't think that's going to make it.
Is this while he's eating a packet?
Oh, hang on. The original wants the ball.
Oh, he's got it. Oh, no, he hasn't. My eyes
snuck it in as well.
Me. Well, that was astonishing.
40.
Well, that would have been one heck of a steal, as it is. Christian Kist gets the break. And all of a sudden,
Christian to throw
just a little bit of pressure here for K.Anderson.
Well, Christian's raised his average over the last 2 or 3 legs. It's now in the mid-90s, looking very, very competitive. Kyle is still averaging around about that 100 mark, but he's got a game on his hands here. There, you see it.
100.
Game on. I thought this might be the pick of the games this afternoon. It's living up to the billing at the moment.
59. Easy one. $97.
320 plays 320 in this leg, although Kist has thrown 9 darts.
60.
Oh, and he just sense now this one is in Anderson's grasp here.
Right, put in a decent leg, Christian Kist, to get back into this. But K.Anderson has just put his foot to the floor again, and he's piled in a 5th maximum. He's not going to follow it up with another one, just to keep his trend going from earlier, where he hits one and he follows it with another. That would be silly, Kyle. Must he score after the second dart?
But this could be just as devastating. Ooh.
45.
Well, the less said about that final dart, the better, but he will be back.
59. Kyle, you require.
Kist has left himself Shanghai in case K.Anderson fluffs his lines again. Double 16 then to break back straight away.
Half step right.
And
finds the bed. Doesn't even need to career off the barrel into it. And he is 1 leg away, K.Anderson. He has the throw in 2 of the 3 remaining legs. This should be a win for the Australian. We saw a Dutchman win this afternoon when Jermaine Watermaner bounced his way through the opening round. But Christian Kist, the former Lakeside World Champion, does not look set to join him right now.
But at least Christian Kist has put in the sort of performance that we know he can. And it's been a good response by him as well.
59.
Certainly compared to the one we saw in Göttingen at the end of last year, it's a welcome sight as well. Foot on the gas earlier. Now your time, Kyle, maybe to put his foot on the throat of Christian Kist here.
Well, Christian, he's only got in the money, what, 5 times this year,
140.
Qualifying for this. Now, that's in 10 Players' Championship events, 3 UK Open qualifiers.
£2,000 in prize money.
Yeah,
prior to this.
Well, yeah, prior to this, yes.
35.
So there have been a lot of first-round exits for Christian Kist. And even when he does get past the first round, he's been going out second round more often than not.
126.
But it looks like it could be another first-round exit here. A good setup shot from K.Anderson will push Kist to the brink.
130.
And he is on the brink.
59.
And it's only 59 for Kist as well. So Anderson looking at the double 18 here. for a 6-3 win to take him through to round 2, and a meeting with Ian White tomorrow here at the Dutch Darts Masters in Zwolle. And that is exactly how it's all played out in the final match of the afternoon session. A good response by Christian Kist during the course of that one, you have to say as well, when it just looked as though K.Anderson was going to turn it on and finish him off in style, but at least Christian Kist was able to get some legs on the board, and that is very encouraging indeed as far as the Dutchman is concerned for his first Euro Tour event of this year. As for K.Anderson, safety through, job done in his first round match, and we will see more of him this weekend. 7:15 for the evening session tonight, by the way. It starts with Cameron Menzies against Kevin Munch. We've also got James Wade and Cristo Reyes. James Wade, a multiple winner, of course, and Adrian Lewis, two-time former world champion, in action as well. 7:15 for the evening session here on PDC TV.
Pretty about doubles in the first leg, but other than that, I felt good for the most of the match.
A lot of 180s, as you usually do. You've played well here before. You reached the quarterfinals in 2015. You remember that one?
I do. I think I had about 5 darts to beat Terry Jenkins in that game. Yeah, it was a good weekend. I enjoyed the whole thing of it, so I'm glad to be back and glad to be throwing well, Jobs.
Tomorrow, you'll be back playing Ian White. Have you played him very often?
Ian White was the one player I couldn't get over for a while. As you remember, the 9-dart leg against Ian, and I just could not win a game against him for a good 3 years on tour. I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, I'm throwing well again. It's just the doubles I've got to work on, and I'm trying, but it's just not happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, dames en heren, morgen zien we hem terug. Geef nog één keer een ongelooflijk applaus. K.Anderson! En dat betekent dat de middagsessie